She looked into my eyes, and the alien knew I loved her. The first time I saw her, I thought she was human. She moved like one, breathed like one, even smiled like one except her eyes. Her eyes shimmered like twin galaxies, deep and swirling, holding starlight that seemed too alive to be reflected. I met her on a world far from Earth, the mining colony of Serris IX, a barren moon orbiting a dying red sun. I was a mechanic on the colony's atmospheric stabilizers, just another cog in the machine keeping 10,000 people breathing. The air tasted like metal and the days were long, but work was work. Her name, at least the one she gave us, was Lyra. She arrived as part of a diplomatic escort from the Thean Enclave, a coalition of alien worlds we'd only recently met. Humanity had just stepped onto the interstellar stage, awkward and loud, and the Theans were our patient guides. Or so we thought. Lyra was their emissary, assigned to study human empathy. Her purpose sounded harmless enough, but when she walked into my repair bay one evening, everything changed. The beginning, sparks in the dust. It was late. The stabilizer core was hissing from a coolant leak, and I was elbow-deep in wiring, swearing under my breath. The door opened, and soft footsteps echoed behind me. "You shouldn't be here," I muttered without looking up. "This sector's restricted." "I'm aware," a soft voice replied. Her tone was strange, musical, but layered, like two notes resonating in harmony. When I turned, I froze. She stood in the doorway, wearing a dark silver uniform that shimmered faintly, her posture graceful but cautious. Her skin had an almost luminescent quality, faintly golden, as if light was trapped just beneath its surface. "I needed to understand how you repair broken things," she said. "Machines. People." "People?" I echoed, frowning. "I'm not a doctor." "No," she said, stepping closer. "But you care for what others neglect. That's rare." Her gaze lingered on me, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. There was something magnetic in the way she looked, not seductive, but deeply knowing, as though she was reading not my face, but everything behind it. "I'm just doing my job," I managed. "Perhaps," she said. "Or perhaps you're trying to fix yourself through them." That made me stop. No one here talked like that. And no one here saw me. Middle, the experiment of the heart. Over the following weeks, Lyra kept visiting. Sometimes she'd bring questions about human emotion, curiosity, love, grief. Other times, she'd simply sit in the corner of my workshop, watching in silence as I worked. I'd try to ignore her, but eventually, I started talking. About Earth. About my sister, who died in the Mars colony collapse. About how I'd buried myself in work because machines didn't break promises. Lyra listened, really listened. Her eyes would flicker with faint light when I spoke, and I began to realize she wasn't just hearing me, she was feeling me. One day, I asked her, "Do your people feel the way we do?" She tilted her head thoughtfully. "We perceive emotion as energy," she said. "When we communicate, we share thoughts and resonance. Empathy is not guessed, but known. To us, lying is impossible. So you can tell what I'm feeling right now?" I asked, half joking. She hesitated. "I can try." Her gaze met mine, and suddenly I felt exposed. Not physically, but emotionally. It was like she reached into the storm inside me, where grief, guilt, and longing all collided. She stepped back sharply, blinking. "You feel too much," she whispered. "It's chaotic, painful, but there is warmth in it. Connection. Welcome to humanity," I said softly. Her lips curved slightly. "I think I understand why you build things that break. You need to prove you can still repair what's left." The incident. The colony's peace didn't last. One evening, the main atmospheric processor malfunctioned, a catastrophic chain reaction that threatened to vent all oxygen. Thousands would suffocate. Alarms blared through the compound as I raced through corridors thick with steam and panic. Lyra appeared at my side, calm as ever. "I can help," she said. "You don't know these systems." I shouted over the roar. "I understand energy," she replied. "And I can stabilize it if you trust me." We reached the core chamber, a glowing sphere pulsing erratically, the containment field destabilizing. I could feel the radiation prickling my skin already. I grabbed my tools, but Lyra placed her hand on the glass casing. The glow from her palm merged with the sphere's light, and for a moment, the chaos began to settle. "What are you doing?" I demanded. "Sharing my resonance," she said. "Matching its frequency to my neural field." "That'll kill you." "Maybe," she said quietly. "But if I don't, your people die." I hesitated, every instinct telling me to stop her, but the look in her eyes silenced me. It wasn't fear. It was understanding. She turned to me one last time. "You feel love, Elliot. I felt it when you looked at me. That is why I must do this." My chest tightened. "Lyra, please." Her eyes shimmered like stars. "Do not mourn me. Use what you feel to protect them." Light engulfed the room. When it faded, the core stabilized, humming steady once more. Lyra collapsed, her body dimming, that faint inner glow fading to gray. The aftermath. I carried her to the medical bay, shouting for help. The medics worked for hours, but their instruments couldn't read her biology. They said she was in stasis, alive, but unresponsive. 4 days, I sat by her side, replaying her words over and over. "You feel love, Elliot. I felt it when you looked at me." She had known, without being told, without me even realizing it myself. She'd felt my love before I'd spoken a word. But how could I love someone not even human? Maybe because, in her, I'd seen the reflection of something more human than I'd ever known. The truth about the Theans. Weeks later, a Thean cruiser arrived to retrieve her. Their commander, a tall being of translucent blue, met with me privately. "She violated protocol," he said coldly. "Direct emotional exchange with a human is forbidden. It destabilizes our neural equilibrium." "She saved us," I snapped. "She endangered herself and the treaty," he countered. I glared at him. "You talk about rules, but she talked about feeling. Maybe that's why she's different." The commander's expression didn't change. "We study emotion, not embrace it. Lyra's attachment to you compromised her stability." He paused, studying me. "She spoke your name before she lost consciousness. It was unprecedented." "Can I see her?" I asked. He hesitated, then led me to their ship. Lyra lay in a chamber of light, suspended in a liquid field. Her body was peaceful, her face serene. I pressed my hand to the glass. "Come back," I whispered. "You can't leave me like this." The commander looked away. "She is processing your resonance. If she awakens, she may not be the same." I didn't care. The awakening. Days passed aboard the ship. I refused to leave. The Theans tolerated me only because Lyra's readings fluctuated whenever I was near, as if my presence stabilized her condition. One evening, the chamber's glow intensified. The ship's systems flickered, alarms echoing. "Her neural field is spiking," a Thean shouted. I rushed to her side as the light burst outward, and then she opened her eyes. For the first time, they weren't silver. They were human brown.